A poor black mother, a medical miracle, and a question that echoes to this day. Her name was Henrietta Lacks. Her cancer cells would not die. But she was never asked. Henrietta Lacks was born in Roanoke, Virginia in 1920 in the Jim Crow South. She grew up working tobacco fields, where labor was hard and opportunity scarce. Family bound together in small wooden rooms that held big dreams. Henrietta married, had children, and, like many black families, sought a better life up north. They settled in Turner Station, a tight-knit black community near Baltimore. She was 30 when the first pains began. A mother of 5, she cooked, cared, and carved joy from long days. Her husband worked at the steel mill. Money was tight, love was not. Then a knot in her abdomen changed everything, and history would change with it. Henrietta felt a knot in her lower abdomen, pain that would not let go. She went to Johns Hopkins, one of the few hospitals that treated black patients. But segregation ruled medicine too. She was seen in the ward for black patients. Doctors examined her and found a tumor on her cervix. Purple, shiny, unlike others. Cervical cancer. Aggressive. She began standard treatment of the day. Radium packs were placed against the tumor, a painful, imprecise therapy. During treatment, a doctor took small samples of her tumor. Just a few cells, placed in a jar for a researcher down the hall. She was not told. She was not asked. In 1951, there were no consent requirements for tissue samples. The samples went to Dr. George Gay, a pioneering cell biologist. Before Henrietta, human cells died quickly outside the body. Then Gay tried something different with her tumor cells. They lived, they grew, they divided again. He labeled them with her first and last names, HeLa. HeLa cells did what no human cells had done in a dish. Taking tissue without consent was common practice, but common did not mean just. Whispered. She had no idea her cells would travel the world. HeLa divided relentlessly, strong, fast, and astonishingly durable. In the right conditions, they doubled about every 24 hours. Gay shared HeLa freely, sending samples to labs across the country. Soon, boxes of living cells were racing by air and rail. Scientists finally had a reliable human model to test ideas. At the same time, polio ravaged cities, paralyzing children by the thousands. HeLa made it possible to rapidly test polio vaccine strains, saving untold lives. Demand exploded. HeLa became a workhorse of modern biology. Yet the woman behind the cells remained invisible. Soft, immortal cells. A mortal life. Despite treatment, Henrietta's pain intensified. The cancer spread. She was admitted to Johns Hopkins for the last time in 1951. A mother, a daughter, a friend, a life loved. She died on October 4th, 1951. She was just 31. Henrietta was buried in an unmarked grave in Clover, Virginia. Her children grew up not knowing their mother's cells lived on. What happened next transformed science, and slowly brought her name into the light. With HeLa, the polio vaccine was tested, refined, and rolled out worldwide. HeLa even flew to space to study how cells grow in microgravity. Researchers mapped chromosomes, decoded cell cycles, and probed cancer's engines. HeLa informed chemotherapy dosing and toxicity. They helped reveal the link between HPV and cervical cancer, leading to vaccines. During COVID-19, HeLa was part of rapid testing that sped up life-saving work. More than 110,000 studies cite HeLa. By weight, over 20 tons of cells grown. Billions of dollars in research and industry depended on them. Beat, all from one woman. Decades later, journalists and researchers began contacting the Lacks family. They learned, piecemeal, that their mother's cells had been everywhere. Confused, hopeful, and hurt, they wanted answers. Soft. Why now? Why us? For years, Henrietta's resting place bore no name. Rebecca Skloot's book helped bring the full story to light. A headstone finally bore her name, and a truth the world now knows. After years of advocacy, the Lacks family reached a settlement with Johns Hopkins in 2023. It could not undo the past, but it recognized harm and legacy. Today, consent and privacy rules are stronger. Still, questions remain. Who owns your cells, your story, your data? Science moves forward, so must justice, transparency, and respect. Soft. Say her name, remember her life. Henrietta Lacks did not choose this legacy. Yet her life continues to heal millions. May we honor her by protecting dignity in every discovery. This story is historical record, shared for education. For more, read The Immortal Life of Henrietta Lacks by Rebecca Skloot.